All right, this evening we were hoping to be live at Jarrod's place today, but unfortunately the weather did not cooperate. So I am here with the David Moore,
Me.
GoNutsBiking.com. Excited to be here chatting with him this evening. And so David, I'm excited for you to be able to share your story, your journey with Go Nuts Biking. I've, seen this progression over the years, was able to be a part of that kind of from the start and seeing where you guys have come. And I just wanted you to be able to share kind of with our audience a little bit, just kind of laugh and have some go back down the
memory lanes.
Y'all missed some of the outtakes earlier. It's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
But we're excited to have him here to tell his story, as a business owner and had worked in different industries over the years, him and his wife, and now they're doing this full time, living their dreams, living their best life.
That's right.
So,
don't ever give up on your dreams, no matter how old you get, because I'm getting up there.
If you're getting old, I'm getting old. So
okay, it's okay. It's okay. It's all about up here. You're only old. No, it's just a number. Just been around the sun more than others,
And I would preface this by normally, we're doing Zoom, right? And David said the only way he was going to do this is if we did it live together. So we didn't do Facebook Live. So you're going to have to catch the recording. Make sure you share it with your friends.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, share it with your friends. So David, tell us a little bit about, get a little comfortable. Tell me a little bit about what's going
on with Go Nuts. Yeah. Well, let me tell you. I'm going to put my glass right over there. So, Go Nuts is great. This is our 8th year in business. 8 years. Yeah.
So, I can't believe it's been that long.
We started back in 2015. So it was kind of a little journey. I've always been into cycling. I've always been into, I was in BMX, growing up. And then, as I got older, mountain biking started evolving. I started getting more, competitive. I wanted to get into racing and whatnot. We did different series. We were having a blast doing them. We got to the point to where in our local area, which we're based out of Columbus, Georgia, just wasn't getting a whole lot of attention from other promoters coming into our area. So I was part of the CVA SORBA at the time. That's the Columbus Valley Area SORBA group. And there were some ideas pitched about maybe doing some fundraiser events and things like that. But we just wanted to get more, mountain biking in the area, just not, just because the community wanted it. We wanted people to see our local trails, all that good stuff, right? So, I kind of got voluntold, hey, Dave, why don't you put a race on? And we gave it a shot. I went to work one time, and this was the major push. I rode my bike all the time, every single day, didn't miss a day. Whether I was spinning or mountain biking or road biking, you name it. I always had a bike, and I would bring it to my office. And my boss would come in, and he'd be like, "Man, you really do like this biking stuff, don't you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man, I love it." And he asked me, "You ever thought about, opening up a bike shop or something?" And I was like, "There's always been 2 dreams of mine. One, either have a race series, or maybe, think of a component or something, and never really had the interest of a bike shop. Nothing against anybody out there who own bike shops or anything, but I'm a go person. I just can't sit still and be in one spot. So fast forward a little bit, my boss came in one day and he was like, what's your plan? He goes, you going to sit there behind that desk and just sit there and think about all your dreams and putting this stuff on, or you want to get out there and try it, give it a shot? So this is coming from my boss. This is a guy who's pushing me to better myself.
To basically live your dreams.
Yeah,
right?
Live my dream. Right. So that extra push, along with the SORBA group, it made me feel confident. It made me feel like, I can do this. So I get home, I tell my wife, I think I want to open up, I want to start a mountain bike series. And so we gave it a shot. We put a 3-race series together. We couldn't figure out our insurance situation, so we got in touch with USAC. USAC was USA Cycling was our insurance provider, and so we put like a 3 little race series together, and the first one was low. We probably had about maybe 30 people who attended. But you know what?
But did they have fun?
They did. They had a great
fun.
time. No matter if you had 2 people or 2,000 people, I mean, we always have a blast. So, you know, it was a low turnout. You know, no one knew who we were. We were just, you know, we didn't think it was just something we wanted local. And the second race, word got out. We went from, like I said, I think it was like 32 total riders from our first race, and we jumped up to like 70 our second.
So almost double.
Yeah, double. And then our third race, which was they were only like a month apart from each other. Our third race, we ended up getting like 130 people coming to it.
Wow.
So everybody was like, "Are you going to do this next year? Are you going to do this next year?" So word got out that we, you know, us Go Nuts Biking was moving forward, and we were going to put a spring series together. And this was 2016.
Yep.
And in 2016, we put our first spring series together. And USAC reached out to us, and they asked us, "Do we want to be the next Georgia State Championship?" And we were like, "Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it." You know. So once we got that, we started advertising it and everything. There was another promoter out there who also did that, who was also USAC sanctioned. So there was rumors going around at the time that, you know, they were not going to be doing the championship anymore. You know, it just lost in translation.
Lots of
challenges. So they came back and said, "Hey, since you're in multiple states, why don't you become a regional championship?" So we jumped on it. We're like, "Yeah, let's do it." So for a couple of years, we started doing nothing but XC races in the spring, because I was also a NICA coach in the fall. And so in the fall, all my attention was on the kids, getting them on bikes and everything, getting them hyped up. So, well, then we noticed in other states, their NICA leagues fell on different, you know, different times. So we decided to start a fall series for other states. So then our XC scene started getting bigger. And then we eventually started doing enduro, and now we're doing downhill. This year for 2023, we're starting our first downhill series, and we're loving it. It's been a blast.
Heard a lot of great feedback. So for the people in the audience, so when we talk about kind of race series, right? So I know, you know, from my experience, right, when we started out, XC, you know, you're riding about how many miles are those, you know, because I know you have different categories, right? So you have beginner, kind of advanced, pro.
Yeah. So we've got Cat 1, 2s, and 3s. So, you know, your Cat 1s are more your pros experts, Cat 2 is your sport, and Cat 3s is your beginners. And it's all about how many laps they do. We can't go over 36 total miles because we're more of a sprint series, right? So, and that being meaning is that we'll have our courses about 4.5 to 7.5 miles in length. I can go up to 9 miles if I want, but sometimes that's just too much.
Nobody wants that.
So anyway,
I think I probably was the biggest complainer of mileage and hills that David ever had to put up with.
Yeah,
during that one series that
a
couple of rides with these guys, and whoo, I'm like, David, I'm not your friend anymore.
Yeah, a lot of people. I mean, but you know, some people like distance, but then again, others don't. So what I did was we said, well, why don't we do it this way? We'll do 4.5 to 7.5 miles. The shorter the miles, the more technical and more elevation you're going to have to climb, and the longer it'll be more flowy, more, you know, more flat, less
and fun.
Yeah, and
flat,
flowy, fun.
Say it 3 times.
I know it. I can't even say it now.
I know.
But yeah, so we keep it like that, keep it simple. You know, normally in those mileage, you know, the 4.5 to 7.5 miles. The beginners, the Cat 3s, they will do 2 laps. Cat 2s do 3 laps. Cat 1s do, and pros do 4 laps.
Right.
And we have other fun categories as well.
Kids.
We have kids races as young as 3 years old. So we have a 3 to 5 year old. Now we've got a 6 to 7, 8 to 9, and then we have our 10 and up.
Yeah, and I think one of the things too with their series is that they offer it for different age groups.
Yeah.
And in their different age groups, because clearly somebody that's, you know, in their prime, they're in their early 20s. If I'm racing against a 20-year-old, it's this 40-plus-year-old person right here, it's going to be a little bit of a challenge. So that's the cool thing is they do have age categories for the groups.
Yeah.
Tell us a little about, so I know y'all had started the Enduro series, which has been really, really popular. So tell us a little bit about that. Some of the things, you know, I know it's a pretty big draw for you guys.
Yeah, so Enduro, so it's kind of like just placed in our lap. There was a local promoter at the time who they ended up going through some personal issues with not with a business, but something tragic happened, and they just wasn't able to continue on.
Okay.
So when that happened, people were asking me, Dave, are you going to start an Enduro series? Which I always loved to, but I just didn't have the time and equipment.
Right.
So these same people that had to end their series, I reached out to them, you know, and I was telling them how much I was sorry, you know, for what was going on in their life and whatnot. And they came back and they were like, no worries. And I was like, well, hey, why don't you guys time our events? And they were open to it. So the husband came on and started timing our events, and we kept the enduro scene moving.
Awesome.
So
working
so
through.
it helped them, it helped us.
Awesome.
And then, you know, eventually, you know, they moved on, they moved, you know, out of the country. And so I was kind of like, you know, kind of left with the program. And so we bought our own timing system and whatnot, and it went from there, and it's been a hit ever since. So
Great.
we have about 10 races for the full year. And what we also do that a lot of people don't know is that we make it fun for everybody. Even though racing is for individuals, we try to make it fun because we want everybody to come together and be a team. You know, we want people of all ages. Like, you know, you do have teams out there, you know, like I mentioned, NICA, and, you know, you've got a lot of these high school, middle school teams, and then bring that to our series. Right. Because you can have your mom, your dad, your neighbor, your best friend, everybody. Yeah, and you can have everybody in all age groups, and everybody's there having a great time, being supportive. You know, each categories are going out differently, and everybody's cheering each other on. And we give out prizes to teams. So those teams that want to, you know, combine their points, hey, let's have some fun with it.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, you know, about cycling that's so unique as a sport in comparison to, you know, you got kids that have soccer. It's not like the whole family's going out there and playing soccer, right?
Yeah.
Or football or baseball or whatever, right? A lot of people are going to watch, but this is one of those sports where, you know, really anybody can participate. Yeah. It doesn't matter. I mean, I will say I am humble enough to say I have been passed by many of people my senior on the course. They just fly by me and I'll see you at the finish line, you know. But I think that's what's really unique. And then being able to bring that kind of team atmosphere together. I know that's over the years, kind of as I was cycling, that was always a lot of fun to be able to be on different teams. And, you know, it's the camaraderie because, you know, the cycling community is just it's such a great community. I think a lot of people don't know how awesome that community is, you know, and, you know, if you're out on the trail and you got a flat, you know, somebody's like, hey man, can I help you out? Are you good? Do you need something, you know, whatever. But that kind of team mentality is, even if you're not on the same team, you're there, you know, it's just a very, very great community.
Oh, it is. It is. I've made so many friends through cycling, from just friends riding bikes to business decisions. Right. I mean, it's crazy just how far biking has taken us. Yeah. It is. I mean,
as some of our best friends that we have, that's how we met. I mean, heck, that's how we met, right?
That's how we met.
When we think about Sorba, you know, Sorba, 3 CVA Sorba, that was, I think, really kind of when we started our friendship, being part of the nonprofit together and doing nonprofit work. So, you know, I think the foundation of really, you talk about the kids a lot. You know, I know our passion was to really be able to help those kids and give them something. You talk about communities and allowing families to have something. That was my big passion, is like, how do we grow this organization to truly be able to help the community and give people, you know, something to do that really kind of helps the community thrive.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that positive part versus, you know, they're sitting at home, and we've talked about this before. He's sitting at home on a video game. Nothing wrong with that if that's what your thing.
Yeah.
But let's get them outside. Let's go have fun.
Well,
There's nothing like
our
picking up some dirt.
Well, that's like our generation. We grew up, I mean, everybody rode bikes.
Right.
Everybody rode bikes. Whether you rode a bike for fun, exercise, or getting back and forth to school or the store. I mean, that was what we did. And I guess that's kind of like, I mean, I don't know, ever since at a young age, I was just always in love with bicycles, and just being able to do it my entire life and just have fun with it and still keep it as a passion, and now doing it as a business is a dream come true. And like you said, I mean, in today's world, and there's so many other things that gets people distracted to where they don't think about getting out and exercising and having a good time and whatnot. So seeing kids getting on bikes today, just it's like an extra joy, you know, and then seeing them carry on our sport. Because I've been in this, like I said, this is our 8th year. I've seen kids who
when they were little,
for like the little ones who are now teenagers to the teenagers who are now adults.
Yeah, right. And some of these kids that, you know, we were seeing them kind of go through the process, or in NICA got college scholarships for riding bikes and stuff like that. And I think those are things that people just don't realize that are available out there, you know, and giving people options. Like not everybody loves to play a ball sport.
Yeah.
But this was an option where kids have been able to do that. And, you know, they participate with NICA, and then they have an opportunity kind of maybe in an off season or whatever to then go and participate. And it kind of keeps them on the bike year round, and they are able to go to these different races and improve their skills because maybe they've never raced on a certain trail system before or had elevation, because that was I was what we call a flatlander. And here I go up to snowshoe when, you know, I raced regional through Go Nuts, and then we went to nationals, which was amazing experience.
That was awesome.
For any of you out there that's ever wanted to race nationals, get in their race series, gonutsbiking.com, get in their race series. It is a USA sanctioned.
Yeah, we are USA sanctioned. A lot of people don't understand that. So I'll just kind of brief through that real quick. When you race with us, it's an avenue to get you to nationals. It's an avenue to get you to UCI or even the Olympics. We've had 3 kids come through our race series who have made the Olympic training teams, which is amazing. You know, a lot of people get confused of how it all works and everything, and it's pretty simple. If you want to be ranked nationally and your goal is to grow within the sport and see where you stand against other people around the country, get you a USAC license. Well, all you got to do is go to, you know, usacycling.org, and it will guide you through to get your license. The license isn't much. A lot of people don't understand that when you do sign up for a license, it's also covers some insurance.
Yeah, and it's for the year, and there's some benefits.
And it's for the year. There's a lot of benefits, a lot of discounts. Then, you know, what USAC suggests is you get at least 5 races under your belt, and they average your best 5 throughout the year, and that gets you ranked. You don't have to race one race at all year long and go to nationals, but the thing is you get the national, you want that ranking.
Be in the back of the pack.
No. And the thing is a lot of people asked the questions. They were like, you know, little Johnny got to nationals and he's way in the back. How can we get him further up in the front? So my suggestion is race USAC sanctioned events. You don't have to come to us. If you can't make us, find somebody else out there, get those points to where you're moving up the level. Because when you get the nationals, like I said, you'll have those folks who didn't race as many races as you, but they're going to be at the tail end. Matter of fact, we had our juniors one year, there was 187 kids on the start line. And do you want to be the 185, 186, or do you want to be in the first 10? And I will toot our horn a little bit. So in 2019 and 2021, because 2020, that's when COVID hit, but 2019 and 2021, Go Nuts had more juniors in the top 20 national start than any other promotion in the country.
That's what I'm talking about.
And I did not know that. That was pointed out to me.
Getting kids on bikes.
Yeah, getting kids on bikes and just seeing that start line with, you know, 3 kids that I've seen race. Yeah. You know, right there. It was a joy to see.
Powerful.
Yeah, it is.
You know, I mean, you think about want to talk about changing the trajectory of people's lives, because not only like when you're cycling, right? So you're there, you've got to have certain fitness levels, right? If you're going to be on the bike. You're typically watching your health and nutrition a little bit different. You might eat a little bit different or do things, you're getting more exercise, so you're healthier, and you think about what that's going to do long-term for these kids as they kind of go through that. So, not only is this you living out your passion, right? But you're also able, because you're living out your passion and you genuinely, truly love what you do, you're impacting the lives of other people, and I mean, I think about I would have never, my 41st birthday would have never, ever went to nationals, had it not been for these guys. And that was never on my, when I turned 41, I want to go race nationals.
And she grabbed a medal.
And I grabbed a medal, 4th place.
That's right.
Just going to throw that out there. Yes, I did. On my birthday, and I had everybody, every time I'm like passing by people, they're singing happy birthday to me. I mean, I retired after that, just so you know. I'm just going to retire now.
We're trying to get her back out though.
No, I'll be a spectator. Good job.
There
Good
you
job.
go.
Yeah, just ride for fun. Yeah, just ride for fun. So I think one of the things that's new this year, downhill.
Yeah,
we got a little birdie told me.
So last year we toyed around with some downhill events. We had some dual weekends, a downhill, and then the next day we had enduro. Ended up being a pretty good hit. So we're starting this year. We're starting our first downhill series.
Awesome.
We'll be the second. I believe we're the second promoter on the East Coast to put on downhill races. So, but yeah, check out that. Come out and see us. We got some awesome parks. We'll be starting our first downhill race in June at Windrock. And it's going to be a full blast.
Love Windrock. I like watching it, Windrock. If you've never been there, place is technical, but it's awesome.
It is awesome.
So I'm also here. Y'all got another race coming up. Is this urban?
Oh yeah. So we do get called to do some one-offs here and there, and we're going to do something a little outside of our box. But I love doing different stuff. Anything with 2 wheels on it, I just enjoy. So we're going to do an urban mountain bike race March 11th in Columbus, Georgia. That's right. It's going to be downtown. Little to no dirt. I mean, it's going to be fast. They're going to be starting downtown on Broad Street, between all the big buildings. They're going to be jumping, features and stuff. They're going to go back through alleys.
And if you've never seen an event, if you don't mountain bike, you got to come watch it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to tell you, those are the coolest events. I remember UCI International. There was an international race that was in Columbus, Georgia. Several years ago. You can actually look them up and kind of see and feel, but I hear this one's going to just blow the socks off of that one. So if you're a spectator, you like to watch and cheer people on, make sure you go to that. So if you had maybe one thing to kind of leave with the audience today, we've talked about a lot, definitely kind of informed us about different types of racing and things that you guys have done, following your dreams, living your best life. Right?
Exactly.
And I can say, I've known Dave a long time, and just being able to see the progression has been amazing, and the success. But we were talking about it earlier, success, there's often challenges that come with it. There's a lot of challenges. I think for the audience, that's something that I definitely want everybody to take away is, when you're in business, there's always going to be challenges.
Yes.
When you're dealing with people, there's always challenges.
There is.
And I think probably every time you have a race, there's always
especially especially in this sport, because
the weather.
You got weather. You got parents that don't want to see their kids get hurt. And that's in any sport, really. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I got lost and I got lost in thought here. But
if you could leave us with one thing, what would you with one thing with David's?
So I've always been this guy to ask these questions, like I've always been intrigued by entrepreneurs and things like that. Like, how did you make your money? How did you do this? And it's not about money and stuff for me all the time at all. I mean, I'm just saying this job, this life just fell in my lap. It was, it's something that I really love. And I've realized after doing this, that if you love something and you're passionate about something, do it. Because if it gets to a point where it's not fun anymore, and you think it's turned into a job, then your passion starts to fall away. So the thing is always keep that light, shining. There are risks, there are failures. I mean, any successful person has had failures. And saying that, I had a full-time job. I was doing this part-time. I found myself doing this more and turning it more into a job. But luckily for me, my wife and I do this full-time. We get to travel, we get to meet people, we get to see people and everything. But the one thing that's most important is don't be down on yourself. Don't get stressed. Control your stress levels. I mean, believe me.
Laugh
yes,
a lot. And if
laugh
you're
a lot.
you're gonna laugh
a lot. And your customers are number one. It doesn't matter what you do. Your customers are number one. Please them, treat them at the best. I mean, they will come back and listen to them. I mean, if you own a business and someone gives you some feedback, whether it's negative or positive, listen to them, because we always try to tweak. All of our races are racer suggested. Everything we do, from the setup to the podium prizes, every race.
And they have great prizes.
Yes.
They have some great sponsors.
We do have great sponsors. We have great relationships with all of our sponsors. And but like I said, I mean, listen to your audience, listen to your customers, because they're the ones that's going to make you or break you. And if you're making them happy, then you'll have them happy.
Yeah,
exactly.
You're right. So many words of wisdom from you. I really thought this was going to be, we were going to be laughing a lot.
Well, we do.
This guy right here, man, is just full of, I look up to them for what they've been able to accomplish. And I appreciate you taking time to kind of share, your journey.
Yeah,
because it's been awesome, man. It's been great to see everything that's kind of been transpiring and seeing the new things that are happening. And just, I would recommend everybody go nutsbiking.com, right? Go nutsbiking.com to find out more. You can contact them through that site. David, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you. And there's not many people that know us from the beginning. And like I said, Beth and her husband Jay have seen us from the start to where we're at now. We still got plenty of mountains to climb.
Yes.
Literally and figuratively. So I mean, it's always a roller coaster, and that's what biking is. This is a roller coaster of life. So get out there and get on your bikes.
Awesome.